Some people spend their entire life unsure about their career path. Some might find their calling early on, and some find it years down the road. I feel very lucky that I've always known what I wanted to do. I remember being a little girl and setting up my mini classroom in the living room. I loved playing school and I loved to be the teacher. I spent more time teaching English than any other subject. It was my favorite class in real life and at my pretend school. Playing school was fun, and at the time I didn't know it would be so significant to my future career. When I was in middle school, I really enjoyed art class and even joined art club for a little while. I thought maybe I could pursue a career as an art teacher when I was older, until I realized that I wasn't as good at art as I thought it was. I couldn't see it as my career, so then I was still on a journey to figure out what I wanted to do. When I was in 9th and 10th grade, I had an amazing English teacher named Mrs. Dunn. She was the type of teacher everyone should have the opportunity to have. She's the main inspiration for me becoming an English teacher. Her class was always warm, inviting, fun, and motivating. I thrived in English and enjoyed the material, and going to Mrs. Dunn's class every day fueled my excitement. Her teaching style was perceived very well by myself and the majority of other students, and she continues to be my role model and inspiration from an education point of view. I was able to observe her classes a few times during my field experience for other courses, and watching her teach from a future teacher perspective rather than a student motivated me 10 times more. In middle and high school, I always spent my free periods every day at the library. I loved reading books and having a silent place to do my homework. As a quiet student with not many friends, the library was my sanctuary. By junior year, the librarians offered me an unpaid internship volunteering in the library. Lack of funding put the library at risk for being closed several periods throughout the day, and eventually more students joined and we kept the library running all day. By senior year, I was 100% certain I was going to college to become a high school English teacher. I applied to SCC and was instantly admitted to the teacher education program. However, as the weeks went by, I listened to several classmates apply to several different schools, including big-name universities, and I started to wonder if I should have looked at more options instead of picking and settling on a community college. Fast forward to the next year, in my first semester at SCC, I began taking education courses and standard required classes. I did extremely well in all my classes, wrapping up with straight A's and a 4.0 GPA. However, I still had my doubts. I didn't have any friends and I wasn't enrolled in any English classes, and I didn't feel totally confident in the few education courses I was taking. I started to worry if I was cut out to be a teacher, and I wondered what would happen if I got a few years into college, or worse, a few years into a teaching career and realized I couldn't do it or I wasn't good at it. Teaching was the only thing I could picture myself doing as a career. I didn't have a plan B. So I tried to push the thought of it out of my head, but every once in a while it would pop back up. It was always lurking in the back of my mind. The next few semesters flew by. I continued to thrive in my classes at SCC. I took a few more education courses and the very few English courses that were offered, and I graduated with high honors from being on the president's list every semester. I was accepted into the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. I made a couple friends along the way, but nothing strong enough to carry on after the semesters were over. This fall, I started a new chapter at Siena College. So far, I've only been here one semester, and it's been socially, academically, and emotionally challenging and moving. Here, I've made more friends in 2 months than I made in 2 years at SCC. The classes are more challenging, but the faculty and staff are so supportive that I never feel stuck or too overwhelmed. The education courses have thrown me into a hands-on field experience, both at Shaker and Schenectady High School. Forcing me out of my comfort zone and working with students for the first time has been such an inspiring experience. I am 100% sure that teaching is what I'm meant to do. I've formed connections, gained experience, and have boosted my confidence and self-esteem. As a result, I left an extremely stressful part-time office job, and I've accepted a new job at Brown School. I work in the after-school program, and I work with students from kindergarten to 9th grade. I'm excited and thankful to finally have a job that I enjoy, provides experience, forms more connections, and introduces me to a career in education.